Welcome to the PC tab tutorial for ScoreRunner. This is the PC tab optimized for desktop experience. And this screen is designed to give you everything you need to run your character in Blades in the Dark. If you see a white cell, that's a cell that you're supposed to edit. If you see a cell with any other color background, don't edit it. This is a Google Sheet. It's pretending to be an app, but it's most definitely not an app. And if you edit the stuff in the gray cells, things can break. With that warning in place, you otherwise have a really flexible tool here. First of all, just grab your playbook from this drop-down box, and then all the appropriate starting dots, load, special abilities, and XP triggers will all auto-populate for you, saving you a lot of time and making sure you're being consistent. You should also know that this uses all the appropriate rules that you have selected. So if you come over to the Rules tab, this is actually a cheat sheet for you. It shows all the different categories of rules and if they're vanilla or deep cuts. So with your Game Master, you've decided if you're doing all vanilla, all deep cuts, or some modules are vanilla and some modules might be deep cuts. And so you'll pick that, and the character sheet updates accordingly, right down to individual special abilities. And the other great thing about this tab is that it's your cheat sheet. So if you're like, how does teamwork and deep cuts work again? Well, just come over here, hit this plus sign, and you can see the rules for teamwork right there. So these plus and minus signs allow you to expand and contract to just see what you need when you need it. Now we'll come back to your screen. Your stress is done as a drop-down box, so you can see how many boxes you have filled in. Should you need additional boxes, because you get a special ability that lets you do that, just add the extra boxes right here, and this drop-down updates accordingly. Same thing is true for your trauma conditions. You start off with the ability to have 4. These 2 are grayed out, but if you get a special ability that lets you add 1, just put a 1 in there, and you notice that that is no longer grayed out. For your action ratings, you can just hit this drop-down box to select the appropriate number of dots when you want to add dots to something. Recovery clock and debt clocks all work the same. There's a little white cell that lets you type in the number of ticks, and then the clock fills in for you. Friends and rivals. You'll notice in many places there's these little tool tips to remind you how things work. So just put an F for your friends and an R for your rivals. You get some nice color coding right there to help make it easy for you. For your load, it depends which rules you're using. I'm assuming deep cuts here, but whatever rules you've selected, the appropriate options will appear here. And then there's additional options based on special abilities. Let's say you, for instance, pick discrete. Well, if you pick discrete load, that means you're not allowed to carry heavy items into a score. So they're struck through to remind you of that. And the total amount of load you're using versus your maximum is indicated here. Should you end up going over your limit, this will change color, and this will say encumbered to let you and the Game Master know that you are encumbered. And that reminds me, we skipped over the harm area. So if you end up taking a harm, we can type in anything in these boxes. You'll notice that you get some color coding to make it really obvious that you've taken the harm to remind you and the Game Master that you've done so. Even your nameplate changes to match the color of the most severe harm that you have taken. You have a spot for consumables, bandolier items, other random things you might want to record. And then for special abilities, this box gives you the full descriptions of all the special abilities for your playbook. And it by default puts them in this not selected section. But as you take special abilities, let's say you took Sharpshooter and Survivor, it moves them into the selected section so that you can, at a glance, just see the descriptions of the special abilities that you definitely have, saving you a bunch of time. If you want to get a veteran ability, come on over here to these white cells, and all of the other abilities for all the other playbooks are displayed. So you can just pick the one you want. Now, that's a lot to scroll through. So if you knew you wanted something like Mule, you could just start typing M-U-L. Oh, okay, great. Well, there's a couple people that have Mule. I want the Cutter one. Fantastic. And you'll notice the full description of the special ability now appears there. Other things for you to take advantage of, if we continue to scroll to the right, you've got an integrated dice roller. Just hit the roll button the first time you do. You'll be asked to give permission to the scripts. Once you've given the scripts permission, then you've got a spiffy little way of rolling dice, and all the dice rolls are recorded on another tab, the roll log that appears down here far to the right. The Game Master has a series of clocks that are public. As they update them, they're directly mirrored here so that you and the Game Master don't have to see it. You can see what the things for the score are, like the alarm clock as it's filling up, etc. You have your supply clocks from the crew tab, likewise being mirrored. If you need to track some individual things, we've got some clocks there for you. Here's the scoundrel moves that were recommended by the John Harper and the Blades in the Dark crew. If you're a new player, then you'll like to know what the key actions are. So they are described right here to remind you. And the only other things we've missed here are you should note that your XP is tracked as clocks instead of tracks in vanilla. Tracks and clocks are both the same thing, just visualize a different way to make these consistent between deep cuts and vanilla. I've displayed everything as a clock. And then down here, you've got long-term projects. So you can name your project, and then the first box is how many ticks are in the clock, and the second box is the size of the clock. There are two different kinds of clocks. There's these geometric green clocks that have G's at the end, and then there's traditional Blades in the Dark circle clocks that are red. I like to use the red clocks as negative things and the green clocks as positive things, but you can use it any way you like. Just pick from the drop-down box what you want, and you're good to go. And then last but not least, all of the items listed here are fully described down here. So if you need to quickly remind yourself, hey, what the heck is included with the plasma graphic camera? That's new. I'm still trying to understand what that is. That description is listed here for you. Maybe you were wondering about those arcane implements. What's in that again? That's all described for you right here to save you some time. So I hope that gives you what you need to have a great experience. Also note that if you prefer a mobile experience, there are versions of the tabs that are optimized for mobile. You have to choose one or the other. You can't, the information doesn't go back and forth, but you can choose which experience is best for you. All right, enjoy.